Good morning, children. I hope all of you are safe at home. After a short break, again we met here. In the previous class, we have discussed about the balancing of chemical equations. There we have seen only two steps. Actually, there are four steps in the balancing of chemical equations. What are the remaining two steps? We will see, and also why we need to balance the equation. What is the law of conservation of mass? What is the need of balancing a chemical equation? And there will be some critical situations. In that situations, how can we balance the chemical equations? With some examples, we will see in today's class. Okay. So, before going to the remaining steps of the balancing of equations, first of all, we will see one question. Why we need to balance the equation? So, what is the answer for that means here? The chemical equation is to be balanced to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. What is law of important one? This law of conservation of mass states that mass neither be created nor be destroyed during any chemical reaction. Then whatever the mass of the reactants that is involving in the chemical reaction, the same amount of mass of the products should be formed newly after the reaction. Here we can write in one sentence that the total mass of the reactants should be equal to the total mass of the products formed. Total mass of the reactants should be equal to total mass of the products. So when it is possible, here we know that during a chemical reaction, the atoms of the reactants will be involving in the chemical reaction. Atom itself is an account for the mass of the reactants. All the atoms that are involving in the chemical reaction will be combinedly together will form the mass of the reactants as well as mass of the products. So here what I mean to say is, during a chemical reaction, the number of atoms should be same. Number of atoms of the reactant molecules should be equal to the number of atoms of the product molecules. Whatever the newly formed products are there after the reaction, the number of atoms should be same. How many number of atoms of any element is participating in the reaction, the so many number of atoms should be formed at the end of the reaction. There should not be any creation or destruction of atoms. The number of atoms should be same. Then only the mass of the reactants will become equal to the mass of the products. Okay. So that is called law of conservation of mass. Mass neither be created nor be destroyed during any chemical reaction. Mass remains always a constant. It is possible only when the number of atoms are same before the reaction and after the reaction. Okay. This is law of conservation of mass. The steps involved in the balancing of a chemical reaction. Steps. First one. Write skeleton equation. Writing of a skeleton equation should be done before balancing of a chemical equation with correct formulas. This one I said in the previous class also. Before going to balancing of a chemical equation, first of all we should write a chemical equation with correct formulas. The unbalanced equation, that is skeleton equation, should be written. Second one, compare the number of atoms. Compare the number of atoms and write coefficients. Wherever required. Compare the number of atoms. That means LHS side and RHS side will be there. No, reactant side and product side. We have to compare the number of atoms for each and every element, and to make them equal, we have to write the suitable coefficients wherever required. Third one, make sure that the coefficients should be divided with a highest common factor so as to get the smallest whole number values. Divide the coefficients. Divide the coefficients with the highest common factor to get smallest whole number ratio. smallest whole numbers of coefficients. Okay, all the coefficients should be divided by a highest common factor so as to get their smallest whole numbers. This we did not see this one. And the fourth and last step is verification of the equation, whether all the atoms, all the elements or the number of atoms became equal or not. So verification, that means checking. Verification of equation, whether all the atoms of all the elements are equal on both sides or not. That is, once again we have to check for the equation whether we have whatever the coefficients we have written are correct or not, and the number of atoms on both sides of the equation are equal or not. So that is, we have to check the equation once again after writing the suitable coefficients. That is called verification of equation. Okay, these are the steps. Now we will take one example and we will see this one. Divide the coefficients. In the previous class, I have taken one example, that is conversion of propane. For your easy understanding, I am taking that equation only. That is C3H8 propane on conversion reacts with oxygen O2 oxygen and gives CO2 carbon dioxide and H2O water vapor. This is the first step. In the first step we need to write the skeleton equation, and in the second step what we have to do? Compare the number of atoms on both sides. That means divide the whole equation into two parts, LHS and RHS, and we need to write the suitable coefficients. Now here 3 carbon atoms are there. So here also 3 carbon atoms should be there. C3H8. Once again I am writing the equation here. O2 gives rise to CO2 plus H2O. Oxygens, hydrogen C8, 4 to the 8, 3 to the 6 plus 4, 10 oxygens is here 5. Okay. The coefficients required for this equation are 5, 3, 4. Like this, after comparing the number of atoms, we have to write the suitable coefficients. No? So in the second step itself, we will write the suitable coefficients. I wrote here 5, 3 and 4 so as to make them equal. Here 3 carbon atoms are there, that's why I wrote 3. 3C, 3 carbons. H8, hydrogens are 8 in number, so I kept here 4. 4 to the 8. 8 hydrogens. And oxygens 5 to the 10 oxygens. Here, right side, 3 to the 6 oxygens here plus 4 oxygens in the water molecules. So here 3 to the 6 plus 4 also, again 10 oxygen atoms. Oxygen atoms also balanced. Now, one of my students, when I asked to balance this equation, he has written like this. You see, C3H8. Okay, and write afterwards this one. O2 gives rise to CO2 H2O. He kept some coefficients here like this: 2, 10, 6, 8. See, instead of 5, 3 and 4, he has written T, 2, 10, 6 and 8 as the coefficients. Now, he said that this is also a balanced equation. And asking why it is not correct, madam. He asked me, it is not correct. I said, why it is not correct? Here also, these the coefficients are there. You see, according to these coefficients, now carbon atoms number is 2, 3, 6. 2, 3 are 6. Here also 6C are there. And hydrogens, 2, 8 are 16 hydrogens. Here 8 to 16 hydrogens. 10 to 20 oxygens. Here 6 to 12 plus 8 oxygens. Here 12 plus 8. Again 20 oxygens. All of them are same number, no? Same number of atoms are there, then why it is not correct, he is asking. So in that case, what we have to do is, our third rule says that, what is our third rule says? Always we must write the coefficients in the smallest whole number. How we can write the smallest whole number? All the coefficients should be divided with a highest common factor so as to get the smallest whole numbers. So here you see 2, 10, 6, 8. All these coefficients are divided by a highest common factor, that is 2. So divide it by 2, divide it 2, 6 by 2, 8 by 2. All the coefficients when you have divided, what you will get? 2 to cancel, 2 ones are 2 5s are, 2 ones are 2 3s are, 2 ones are 2 4s are. So what are the final coefficients you are getting here? See here 2 cancelled. So there is no coefficient. I have to write the formula as it is. So here I will write C3H8 as it is. Now here 5O2 gives rise to here 3CO2 plus here 4H2O. So like this, we should not write whatever the coefficients we want to write. We should not write like that. So always we must make sure that all the coefficients of the equation should be divided by highest common factor, so that we will get the simplest whole number ratio of the coefficients. Here what is the ratio of the coefficients? Here see 5, here 1, here 5, here 3, here 4. This is the coefficients ratio. This is the smallest whole number ratio. This is our third step. And finally, what is our fourth step? In our fourth step, we have to write the fully balanced equation again, and we have to verify it. Fourth step. Fourth step is the verification of chemical equation. What we have written this one? C3H8 plus 5O2 gives rise to what I have written here? 3CO2 plus 4H2O. Okay, these are the coefficients I have written. So with these coefficients, this is the last step, verification. Here again, once again we have to check. Verification means once again we have to check whether all the atoms are equal or not. C3, 3C, balanced. H8, 4 to the 8 hydrogens. Okay, 5 to the 10 oxygens, 3 to the 6 plus 4. So 6 plus 4 again 10 oxygens. Like this, we have to do all the 4 steps for any equation to balance. For all the equations to balance, we need to perform all the 4 steps. Most of the reactions does not require the third step. Actually, if in such a case, here we have to follow. If it is like that, then only we have to see this one. Verification is important. This verification step is important for all the reactions. So like this, we can balance the chemical equations. And we will see one more equation, that is decomposition of lead nitrate. EdNO3 taken twice. Lead nitrate on heating decomposes and gives lead monoxide and nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. This equation is there. Balance. We will try to balance this equation. First, in the first step, I wrote the skeleton equation. In the second step, I will compare the number of atoms. LHS side we have lead, nitrogen, oxygen. Okay. LHS side, how many lead atoms are there? 1. Nitrogen, NO3 taken twice now. 2. Nitrogen 2. Oxygen 3 into 2, 6. And coming to RHS side also, we find lead, nitrogen and oxygen. How many lead atoms are there? RHS side only 1. Nitrogen, how many are there? Only 1. Oxygen, how many are there? Here 1 oxygen. In this formula 2 oxygens, and here 2 oxygens total. 1 plus 2 plus 2, 5 oxygens. Okay, 5 oxygens. See here, lead atoms are always here. Now we will write the coefficients. Lead atoms are here already balanced. Here lead 1 atom, here lead 1 atom. Okay. So coming to nitrogen, here 2 nitrogens are there. Here 1 nitrogen is there. What we need to do? Write the coefficient 2 here simply. Write the coefficient 2 here. When you write the coefficient 2 here, nitrogen atoms becomes 2. And oxygen atoms 6, 3 to the 6 are there. Okay, oxygen atom 6 means here, how many are there? Here 1. And here, when as I wrote 2 here, 2 into 2, 4. In this molecular formula, 2 NO2, no? 2 into 2, 4 here. In this formula, 1 here, 2. Total how many? 1 plus 4 plus 2. 7 oxygen atoms. How many oxygen atoms here? Increased to 7. First 5 oxygens are there. I wrote here 2 coefficient. So, it became increased to 7 oxygen atoms. Now, only oxygen atoms are not balanced here. Only oxygen atoms, left side are 6 oxygen atoms are there, and right side 7 oxygen atoms are there. In this case, now what we have to do? There is a rule. If in any chemical equation all other elements are balanced on both sides except one element which is not balanced. In that case, what we have to do means, which element is not balanced, that element, here in this case oxygen is not balanced. So that element, elemental form, here oxygen is there, oxygen is not balanced, and this is the elemental form of the oxygen. We have to, leaving this elemental form of that element which is not balanced, whole equation should be multiplied by 2. Whole equation means here to here. Total equation should be balanced. Sorry, whole equation should be multiplied by 2. This elemental form, elemental means here it is oxygen is not combined with any other element. It is singly existing. So, and it is not balanced element. So, the element which is not balanced, oxygen here, the element which is not balanced, leaving the elemental form of that element, and the whole remaining whole equation should be multiplied by 2. Whole equation should be multiplied by 2. Now we will see that one. We will multiply the coefficients of, see, EbNO3 taken twice on heating, EbO, multiplying the whole equation with the 2, no? So here any coefficient is not there means it is considered as a 1. When you multiply 1 into 2, what you will get? 2 here. Okay. Here, write with blue. Here 1 is there. 1 into 2 means 2. Here 1 is there. 1 into 2 means 2. Here 2 is there. 2. 2 into 2 means 4. What? Nitric oxide. 4 nitric oxide plus O2. Okay. Now you see, count the number of atoms. See, 2 lead, Pb, 2 nitrogen. See, here 2 is there and here also 2 is there. This 2 is applicable for lead, nitrogen and oxygen. So, 2 into 2, 4 nitrogens and oxygens. 3 into 2, 6 oxygens into 2. Again 2 is there here. 3 into 2, 6. 6 into 2, 12. Oxygens are 12. Now this side, lead. 2 lead atoms are there. As I wrote here, 2 lead atoms are there. And nitrogen. How many nitrogens are there? 4N. Okay, 4 nitrogens are there. And oxygen, you see. In this formula, 2 PbO means 2 oxygens. Here 2 oxygens plus here 4 into 2, 8 oxygens plus here O2 means 2 oxygens. No coefficient is there. So, 1. Here 2, 8, 2. 2 plus 8 plus 2. Total how many? 12 oxygens. Okay, 12 oxygens. Now it is balanced. In the previous equation, it is not balanced. This side oxygen 6, that side oxygen 7 atoms are coming now. So, if in any case, in any equation, only one element, the atoms of one element is not balanced, and is the difference between the number of atoms towards LHS side and RHS side is only 1. Only 1 means here 6, here 7 means the difference is only 1 atom. In that case only we have to do this one. This rule is applicable. Then only. What we have to do? Which element is not balanced? That element only we have to leave it. Leave this element and except that element, remaining whole equation should be multiplied by 2. When you multiply the whole, all the coefficients are multiplied by 2. What you are getting here? 2. 1 into 2, 2. 1 into 2, 2. 2 into 2, 4. And the number of atoms as well as the oxygen atoms are also completely balanced. Like this, we can balance the chemical equations. Remember, every reaction should be balanced compulsory in order to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. Then only it will give the complete meaning. A completely balanced equation only can give the complete meaning. Now, I will give some more examples for your assignment. Try to do. For your assignment, I am going to give some equations. First one, lead carbon and oxygen. So try to balance all these 4 example equations and try to write the suitable coefficients. I will meet you in the next class with the next topic.